Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my review of this blade. This is the Kershaw Camp 12. Alright, and you are at the We All Juggle Knives channel. The blade length is 12 inches. This is based on a Malaysian parang. See, it's got an extended tang. It's got a handle made of glass-filled nylon. The steel is MN65, which I've been told is the Chinese equivalent of 1065. Mid-carbon steel. The current price is $25. I will include an Amazon link. It comes with this blade guard. It does not come with a sheath. You see it's got two slots there. And it's got a retaining strap with a button closure. So they really skimped on the sheath. But I guess that's part of why this is fairly inexpensive. This is part of the whole family of Kershaw Camp machetes. Here's the other three. Alright, the smallest one is the Camp 10, and then you got the Camp 14 and the Camp 18. Alright, I will include Amazon links to these as well. By far the most popular is the Camp 10. Now those two longer ones, to be honest, I bought those as just poor man's swords or short swords, so I don't have any reviews of those. The Kershaw Camp 10, I have a really old crappy review of, from like before bushcraft was a thing on here. So I just wailed on it, but it doesn't matter. It's a very good blade. A lot of other people have reviewed it and reviewed it much better than I could, but I recommend it. Okay, doing stuff with the Camp 12. I did a lot with it, including splitting some firewood. So you can use this as a kind of like a light hatchet. Not going to hit as hard as most hatchets, but if it's all you had, or if you just did not want to carry anything heavier, you could make do. Right, that one had a knot in it. That was a very twisty piece of wood. But it does okay. I mean, because it has a 12-inch blade, you have ample room sticking out to hit it with the baton with a lot of force. Right, so you can use it as a light hatchet. Here I am doing some basic carving with this. I took a little shard of the baton wood, and I am putting a point on it. What for? It's the shortest spear known to man. No, just for demonstration purposes, really. And to stab you in the face. No, I'm kidding. Was that family friendly? No, it's humor, dude. Alright, so you can basically use this the same way you would use like a little craft hatchet. You can make stuff. You can make pieces of a trap, pieces of a shelter, or a cheap stabby thing like you see there. Alright, coming up, clearing soft vegetation on the bush of machete testing. Yes, first-person chopper. Now, one of the major uses of a light or medium machete like this is the clearing of soft vegetation, right? And, yard work as well. Okay, I got a little aggressive there. Hey, you got to keep it, you got to keep things lively, or you just get bored. Yeah, the bush of machete testing will never mess with me again. Alright, that was a highlight reel, but yeah, just a little yard work. Oh, and it's a very fast-growing bush. It's not, don't worry, I didn't destroy it or anything, I just trimmed it. Alright, another thing I did was wail on this log with the Camp 12. And there's no purpose to this part other than making sure the machete doesn't break or the edge doesn't get messed up. Alright, and I actually, here is the tang with the handle removed. I actually hit it into that log a lot more, but a bunch of freaking bugs crawled on the lens of my camera, and it was pretty disgusting, so I didn't include that. But yeah, but it started to rattle, actually, as I was doing that, so I took the handle off to check out what was going on. It turns out the little screws just became a little loose. So as you can see, it is a full tang, and the handle basically slides over it like so. That's actually really good to know that the tang is one piece, one continuous piece. That extension is not like a separate piece under there or anything shady. So, final thoughts on the Kershaw Camp 12. It's a pretty useful all-around tool for the relatively low price. It is made in China, by the way, if you couldn't guess. That is another reason that is not very expensive. The mid-carbon steel, perfectly acceptable for a machete. Potential negatives, well, like I said, they really skimped on the sheath or the blade guard. The handle did start to rattle, like I said, but that's just so you might have to tighten the screws, and if they come loose, you might want to Loctite them. Another drawback to this thing, the first few inches of the edge, they didn't really sharpen it very well, and it's a shame because that little notch right at the beginning of the edge, if that had been sharpened better, you could use it for fine work. Right, I actually did try to make shavings with this, like for a fire, but it failed because that part wasn't sharp. It was just, it was pointless. So yeah, I would say customize the first like 3 inches of the edge, like sharpen that up really well, and this will be more useful. But in the end, I think this would make an excellent budget-friendly yard work tool, basically. I don't know about surviving the end of the world or a plane crash or something, but as far as just trimming the hedges, clearing some soft vegetation, some brush, using it as a light hatchet, that's what it's good for. The curved blade shape also lends itself to slicing. Now, I didn't slice up anything in particular with this, but you could picture this thing slicing anything from your lunch to, you could slice up you could process some game. You could actually use it as a slicer and a light cleaver. Because the blade shape is flat and wide, you can also use this as an impromptu digging tool, if you had to. An improvised little entrenching tool, digging for roots, digging for water. I don't know, digging your shallow grave. No, I'm kidding. Now this brings up the question, which one of the 4 camp machetes should you buy? It kind of depends what you want. Like I said, if you want a poor man's sword, obviously those 2 longer ones are pretty nice. The conventional wisdom would go with the Camp 10. And I think that's the most popular because it's large enough to do some work, but yet not so large that it's a pain in the butt to carry, right? It's also around the same size as some much more expensive blades, like the SE Hunglis, so it's often used as a budget play on stuff that's way more expensive. I will include links to all of these. Please try to do your normal shopping through those links. They do help support the channel. I really hope you enjoyed seeing me put this blade through its paces. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.